Hello Scorpio, welcome to your weekly reading with me, Cindy. This week, Scorpio, we're going to be looking at your energy, current and future, but it's a very deep look. It's your archetypal energy. So we really go into sort of the deeper aspects of yourself, where you are right now and where your energy is going, where you're going to be. And when we look into that, I'm going to start with oracle cards and then we're going to go into the tarot. I don't know, some days I'm good with my orthodontic device and other days I feel like my tongue is tripping over it, which is today. So anyways, we're going to go into the tarot. We're going to find out what you've been working on, what you've been healing, what is ready to blossom for you in your current energy. And then in your future energy, we're going to look into what you will finish working on, what will be healed, and what will be ready for you to harvest. And there is an extended at the end of this if you are drawn to it. The link is at the top of the description. And in the extended, we will be looking at the energy that actually is, I like to call it the in-between. It's in between the current and the future. And in that in-between, we're going to examine personal challenges, distractions to be aware of, and areas to focus on to kind of help get you to your future. Well, you're going to get yourself to your future no matter what, right? You can click off right now and you're all good. It doesn't matter. You don't have to listen to anything. It's just taken as like entertainment and like it kind of, it makes you think about stuff. I always like to think the tarot just kind of makes you see yourself outside of the box a little bit. Regardless if you come here or not. I might have to be a beggar on the streets if you that's okay. I can see with my crystal ball. You can see me set up on the corner. My crystal ball. You know, I'd have like a headscarf and I'd have my cards. People would come. Do that? Why not? I have like a little pot for change. I feel like there's something else I'm supposed to say and I can't remember. It's really weird. I kind of said everything. Yeah, I don't know. Ooh, somebody else had this card and I don't remember. Gosh, there's so many of you guys. So many of you zodiacs. I can't keep it all together anymore. What you have right now, interesting where this is going. So you have the mentor card. I almost feel like a bit of a vessel for something to come in for you. Like kind of like a cosmic download, really. It's like getting some sort of a cosmic download, like swooping in on you. That's kind of your current energy. Feeling some sort of a presence even. I am reading from the book, so it'll be interesting to see what we get out of that. But I just feel like clarity too comes in with that, but it's almost like cosmic clarity. Some sort of clarity from beyond yourself. It's not like I want to call it the High Priestess. Kind of like, well, that's kind of your energy too, though, with that card. It does feel like it, like it's something, some sort of deeper unknown kind of swooping in on you and making something clear. And then where you're going, though, is the vision. So I'm look at this, interesting how you have the owls, right? This is, I think it's a barn owl, and then we have the two snowy owls, but regardless, I just feel like it's a messenger, and then things becoming clear, like from the same creator of the tarot deck, the Wild Unknown, the Queen of, or the Mother of Swords is depicted as a snowy owl, so I just feel like it's really clear and understood thinking. Yeah, something. It's like you're going to receive some sort of information, whether it's cosmic or it participates in this dimension through someone else. You know, like they all act as cosmic messengers to each other in different ways, you know, like all of a sudden I'll just talk about something and I don't know, I'm just inspired to talk about it and it triggers something and someone's like, oh gosh, yeah, I've been trying to figure that out. Or yeah, or like you've been trying to figure something out, or I've been trying to figure something out, and somebody starts talking to me about some other topic, and all of a sudden it comes around like, oh, you see what I'm saying? Like, so it's not necessarily that you're sitting in a room alone, and all of a sudden, I understand fully. I mean, it could be, and that can happen. But there might be someone else involved in it, I feel like, with the mentor. And it gives you a clearer vision, at least. I'm feeling like that right now. into the future. So now I'm going into the Wild Unknown Oracle to get an oracle card for your current and future archetype energy. Oh, now I see, yeah. The bottom card here is the empty room. It's almost like there's some sort of void of information to be filled in for you. And I feel like you're downloading it. You're getting it. In whatever form that is for you. It feels like you're getting it. And your vision is going to become clearer. Oh, yeah. Oh. Look at that. You got the hummingbird. Like, whatever this is, it's really causing your vibrational energy to go high. So this feels like, whatever the information is, before we get into this is a message that I'm getting intuitively for you. Whatever this knowledge or information is that I feel like you're getting that's going to fill up this kind of empty, this void space of knowledge, feeling, emotion, however that works for you, even if it's bad news, but it clears up the confusion, or however you take this news, it just clears something and your vibrational energy goes up. I feel more so like it's some sort of good news or something that really benefits you and what you would feel is a positive thing. And because it really, like, really clearly. And I do feel too that you're already in this hummingbird energy, and it's just sort of increasing it. So vibrating very high frequency. Feeling very positive. And if you're not there, that I feel like it's going to happen with this information, then you get the whale with the future. This is really, really deep. Like, it's going to give you a vision about going deep within something. It doesn't even feel like necessarily yourself. So that's where it's going to be interesting to clarify the cards. Some sort of vision that's going to drive you into a deeper aspect of something. You're going to put more of yourself into something here, I feel like. And look, the hummingbird is air energy and the whale is water. Again, it is. It's like clarity, information, understanding, communication, and then it pushes you into a deeper dive. But going more deeply, more invested into something, I'm feeling. Like more invested. Or does that ever make sense? Oh, look at the bottom. The High Priestess and the Seven of Wands is sitting at the bottom. There's like something. So I tell you, it's just one of those days I feel like my tongue is tripping over my orthodontic device. It's very much something that brings you happiness, joy. You covet this, and yet it's protected. It could even be a point inside of you that, you know, a very special part inside of you that you almost covet, like coming in connection with it. And it's protected here. Now, this is really interesting. After I talked about the mentor, oh, I didn't read the book yet. There must be a reason. I haven't read the book yet. Let me just show you the cards that came out, and then we're going to read the book about get deeper into the archetypes. What have you been working on? Is the High Priestess card that came out. See? You've been really, I don't know if it's like more meditation. I'm kind of feeling like even different forms of music or sounds to kind of help your mind clear or go on down a new avenue here. But it's working. I want to say it's working. Because the High Priestess is really, it's so much about trying to go into the unknown. And that empty room feels like it, right? Like you're trying to fill this void. You're trying to fill that with some, almost like, not even sure what needs to be in there. But something needs to be in this void. There's something that I'm missing here. What have you been healing is the Son of Pentacles It's like the Knight of Pentacles. So healing the progression that you're taking towards whatever your goal is, whatever you're working on. Healing that, healing the progression. Maybe it feels too slow. Maybe it feels like you needed to make a better plan, or you need to make a better plan here. What is starting to blossom is the Hermit. So the internal work is sort of, it's coming to fruition, and I feel like it's you going from looking for answers internally to connecting on a more cosmic level, on a more intuitive level, with energy, stimuli beyond yourself. And I'm getting that again with perhaps music or sounds somehow. Looking for sources outside of you to almost stimulate your internal hermit here. So in the future, what will you finish working on? We have the Three of Cups. So this is it's a bit of collaboration, but it's mostly coming together again with like minds, like birds of a feather, flocking together. Sharing your energy in a very productive and happy. Sharing your energy in a very happy and productive way. And okay, I see that, because you're not really sharing your energy with this, correct? You're doing something else here, and whatever that is for you on an individual basis, and whatever this is that you're trying to fill, whether it's with knowledge, feelings, direction, creativity. I'm feeling like you needed to see your own aspect of these things, whatever that is for you, before being able to share it in this really, really positive way with others. So what will be healed is the judgment. It's the rebirth. Is being able to move forward again after a period of time of feeling, even like perhaps feeling kind of dead or stagnant. That's going to be healed. This rebirth is going to be healed. And then what is ready to be harvested? This has been really good. The harvested section of these readings all week has been something heavy, which to me it says it's come to completion if it's being harvested. It's the Five of Pentacles. So no longer feeling isolated, no longer feeling like you're not part of the group. But almost like that's based on your choice. This is based on your decision. It doesn't feel like that this is something that out of your control that's happening, because you are healing. You're healing your own rebirth here. All right, I'm going to go into, this is funny how I did in a different order. Scorpio's got to be different. So let's look at the future. Let's read more about this mentor card. The teacher, the sage, the guru. It is said that cosmic knowledge pours down on the world like a great illuminated waterfall. This can be an overwhelming force. The true teacher, though, is said to be able to hold this flow of wisdom at bay while the student sips from a focused stream. Oh, I just got a crazy visual on that. The mentor archetype has a gift for reading the room, for sensing the exact ingredient that will stimulate growth within the student, whether pleasant or painful. The mentor may appear aloof or available, harsh or tender, humorous or rigid. Their gift is to know what serves the soul. Ultimately, the mentor is in service of the greater cosmic good and aids in the elevation of consciousness. Anytime the mentor forgets this humble link and mistakes themselves for the source of enlightenment, the archetype falls into shadow. That's very true. I think too, like anyone who does readings or divination, giving any advice to anybody is knowing that really you are just the conduit. You're just like everybody else. You're just like a little radio. Maybe your antenna is a little bit longer than everyone else's or whatever that is. But yeah, it's really important to remember that. Although it's typically true that parents are our initial teachers, the child will eventually seek a mentor figure outside of the home to assist their growth. That's the truth. Keep in mind how easy it is to project power onto another. The expressions feet of clay and cult of personality exist for a reason. Well, that's interesting. So when this is in light, focused, clear, bright remains a student. When dark, self-serving, envious of youth, and righteous and rigid. This is bringing to mind a whole bunch of things. Well, not a whole bunch of things. Something that I was thinking about the last few days. And it's a memory that keeps coming up, but I didn't really know why. And I'm getting it here. Particularly with self-serving, envious of youth, righteous and rigid. And I've been thinking the last little while about an incident that happened. It's not really an incident. It was just an experience. An encounter. I think I was with my mom, and I was little, like, I don't know, maybe I was 8 or 9, 7 or 8, 7, 8, 9, somewhere around there. And we were somewhere, and it was very apparent that this person did not like kids. They did not like me, and I wasn't misbehaving or anything. I was, you know, I think I was just being friendly, like, hi, how are you? You know, like the crabby old man, like, oh. And I was like, oh, what am I saying? And I think I said something, and I'm like, why doesn't that person like me? What's wrong with them? And then I think my mom said, she said, you know, some people just don't like kids. And I was dumbfounded. I remember being absolutely dumbfounded. And I remember saying to her, that doesn't make any sense at all because they're a kid too. Like, it was just like, to me, they're just big. Like, what? How can you? So to me, I thought, but they don't like anybody, even themselves, right? Which is a darkness. And I'm really getting that here with, I don't know, there's something in here. It could be someone you're dealing with. Maybe it's in a situation that you're in. Maybe you are becoming exhausted with, if you're trying to teach people things, it can be very exhausting. Yes, If you ever tried to teach adults, oh my gosh, I had to do that for a few years. There were times I got so frustrated at them. Anyways, but that being said, right, like, it's knowing the flow of wisdom, that they need to sip from it. You can't overwhelm them with the information. And there are times where you do need to practice what might be painful or pleasant, aloof or available, harsh or tender, humorous or rigid. The gift is to know what serves the soul. That's the important part here, right? And that's probably the aspect of making sure your ego doesn't take too much control over that in being a teacher, a sage, or a guru. Or just being someone there for someone else, right? Like, it doesn't have to have such a profound heading for it. Yeah, interesting. Because it's all about enlightenment, right? Because you have the hummingbird. It's really about whatever you're engaged in here. Maybe you're dealing, I feel like either, and it could be back and forth, because a true teacher, guru, archetype should also go back into student at any given time. It should go back and forth, because we're always learning, and then once we've learned, we can share and become a teacher. And then back and forth, like, you've never learned enough. If you've become the teacher, there's still many things that you can learn. There's like the world is always changing. Everything you knew at one point to be solid and evident and that's it, all of a sudden can change, and there's a whole new theory behind it, and it's like, oh, I gotta figure that out, right? So it's having that ability to go back and forth. There might be someone, I'm feeling like for some of you, needing to hear this because you might be dealing with someone who is maybe more like a mentor to you. But there are times where they're not balancing this real well, and it's giving you a little bit of clarity about it. It's not something about you, it's something about them, and trying to keep, and it's maybe a little bit of an internal struggle between the ego and just being, comfortable with who they are and seeing themselves too. It's hard to see others if you don't see yourself. So, interesting. And then it takes you into the vision in the future, right? This is, and it's interesting that there's a medal at the bottom. It's almost like accomplishing something. So maybe accomplishing something through this. It does cause you to go deeper within with the whale. So the vision. The dream, the imagined, the revealed. It is said that we are each born with a unique vision, a destiny towards which we are aimed. It is also said that we forget this vision the moment we are born. Yeah, I read this for someone this week. Thus we are sent on a lifelong journey of rediscovery. Such is the elusive nature of the vision. It slips away, yet it guides. It appears in strange dreams and surreal images, seemingly unattainable and preposterous. When we are connected to the vision, we carry an inspired, enchanted aliveness that others recognize. We trust the world and its synchronicities. We walk through new doors into wondrous opportunities. We all want to be near those with vision. They emit energy more potent than any elixir. When we lose connection to the vision, life becomes dull and exhausting, lacking meaning. Bring back the mystery, bring back the dreams. Look at art you loved when you were young. Listen to the old records and poems. These are all ways to activate the vision. You can gauge how connected you are to your vision by how tired you are. Since the vision feeds us energy, it affects our life force and vitality. Oh, okay, I'm getting to, like, part of this deep, maybe for some of you it is in the future, but it feels like this deep, sort of a deeper dive, is a connection to yourself in some way. It doesn't feel like it's a shadow work deep dive or you trying to understand it's maybe energetically, understand yourself energetically. This, look at art you loved when you were young. Listen to old records and poems. These are all ways to activate the vision. Now, I read this for someone else this week, and it stirred something in me. And I connected again with music that I listened to when I was in high school. Because when I was not a normal high school student. Like, I didn't go out with a bunch of different friends and stuff and do what high school kids do. I had a room in the house where I did like all my artwork and stuff, and I would listen to like all sorts of different types of music that would inspire me to do paintings and drawings. So I started listening to, because I remember when I read this, and this is something for you too, to think about a point, when we just talk about when we're young, and there are different elements of who you are and how clear that is at different times in your life. And I think about too, like when you're a teenager, like you think about high school years, there's a big transformation that's going on there between really releasing the child and starting to become the adult. And you could almost imagine that as starting to become the adult is almost a very pure form as well, because there isn't a lot of influence yet as to who or what that adult is going to be. So I sort of was thinking about that and recognizing that that point in a person's life as well can be, something to reconnect with. And I found a lot of sort of empowerment, or just, I don't know, I can't even explain what it kind of activated, like listening to these musicians and bands that I listened to, back in grade 10 and 11, 9, 10, 11 sort of. And I guess maybe it was just bringing back the early parts of being an adult and what that was and where I wanted to go. I mean, I was going to be an artist, man. I was going to be living in a loft or in the woods. It's like, it did not go that way, because you cannot make any money doing that. So, well, at least it wasn't my journey. But it connects you again. So I'm really finding it interesting that, I don't always find a connection with the tarot cards in terms of the current and the future here, reading these archetypes, because what you're going to finish working on is not necessarily the same thing that you've been working on, right? Like, you may still continue to work on that while something else comes to completion for you. I kind of feel that way for you with the archetype. I don't necessarily feel like that this archetypal energy is kind of coming to an end as you move into the future. I feel like you're having some sort of balance in two. Yeah, this is a very deep, there's something, see, I'm learning something there with that. I mean, I always connected with the inner child as the very, very young you. But this vision has inspired me in doing your readings. Like, I learn a lot from this too. I'm always growing and trying to figure out what the hell is going on with me and my world. But it's, yeah, even think about that. Think about who you were when you were just becoming an adult, right? Like you were just the stepping stones to that. You were stepping away from the child, like really, and stepping into the adult. Who were you? What did you see yourself as? What did you love? Where did you immerse your energy at that time period? And I'm kind of hearing some people say, oh, I had younger siblings, Cindy, I didn't have time to. Outside of that, even if it was like 20 minutes at night in your bedroom before you went to sleep, is there something, did you read certain types of books or whatever it is? Something there. I'm feeling that. And B2, if life becomes dull and exhausting, lacking meaning, right? This is, I feel like, because life isn't really dull at that point. There's so many things to be explored. And what without any influence or having any bad experiences without any of the things that you explored, you know, because you can think you want to explore things and you get into that and go, I didn't go very well, or that's not what I thought it would be, or I think we're going to do this instead. Because that's a point of, it's almost like a page, right? Like it's this, it is youthful because it is this, the stepping stones before the adult. Yeah, anyway, so that's interesting. Okay, I'm going to clarify a bit here. These are longer readings this week, aren't they? I'm finding I'm a little tired. This is a tiring week during this one. There's a lot to pull out. I'm going to do one clarifying card to make it very, very clear and precise. And I will hold up the card that it's clarifying to, because I've covered a lot since I pulled them out at first. So again, we're going to clarify what you've been working on, what you've been healing, what is starting to blossom, what you will finish working on, what will be healed, and what will be ready to be harvested. Wow. You're definitely moving forward. There's a lot of momentum sitting there, right? And it's a shift, coming out of stagnation and really making the choice to move forward into a new cycle. Kind of creating your own cycle here. What you've been working on, you know, kind of in this present energy, the High Priestess. I love that it has the Page of Swords. I love that because it's trying to learn, understand, listen, pay attention, watch, you know, utilizing a lot of elements of observation here. There could be observation in body language too, very subtle clues, things to watch for. Like you've been working on that. You've really been, it might be even, I want to say, a more obvious aspect of High Priestess energy. Because sometimes the High Priestess can be a person who can look and really see people for who they are. Or they just know that person's vibration, or, you know, they just get a feel. They know intuitively. But this is, and you may not be so much aware that you're doing it, but it's observation, watching the group, watching the people, watching the person, understanding, seeing yourself clearly. What have you been healing? It's the Son of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. This is a very slow to, it's connecting a bit with the vision. I can feel, actually, like there's a lot of this reading. I don't really have much in Scorpio placement at all. I don't remember which house it's in, but it's somewhere. I'm not sure. But like I'm really feeling this reading with you guys here because everything I was talking about here, it's very reminiscent. It's like reminiscing, right? It's reminiscing, but it's reminiscing with a purpose. Like what was it about me at that time period, and who was I, and what do I want to recapture? That's what I'm getting here. And this is a slow process. What do I want to recapture about myself at that time? Because I think that is also a very alive and exciting time. You have the youth and the vitality of a kid, you know, in high school and even going off to college. I think that once you go off to college, it gets a little heavy. Then the adult starts to get heavy. Like, oh shit, like paying money for this education, like really paying money for this. I have to really, you know, there's a lot more pressure that comes with that. Where high school, you're still kind of free So yeah, I'm going to take this course. Now I'm going to take that one. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do, like, you're kind of exploring yourself. So what do you want to recapture? That's what you're healing here. What you want to recapture. And what is starting to blossom? The Hermit. Oh, Lordy. It's been a long process. Tiring. Wearing you out. Exhausting. But it's blossoming. So it's a 9. That's a 9 of Wands. That's great news because the next one is a 10 of Wands. Like getting rid of the burden. So it is. It's starting to really blossom. It's starting to come out. I love that. What do you want to recapture? There's my phrase. It took me almost all week to get a phrase of the week. Thank you, Scorpio. What do you want to recapture? What will you finish working on? It's pretty good. In your future. Remember, there's this 3 of Cups and this clarified by the 2 of Cups. Beautiful. I think you're going to recapture. I really think you're going to recapture. That's what I'm getting here. You're going to recapture. And think about too, like connections with people. Like just that, that very youthful but young adult. I don't know why that's the vibe that's going through right now. That's just what came out for me when I sort of delved into this card earlier in the week, and it's coming out here for you. But, you know, like being really open to possibilities. You know, there haven't been a lot of doors closed in your face yet. The world is kind of like, there's a lot of people there to kind of help you. There's counselors and guidance and all sorts of, like, where do you want to do? Where do you want to go? It's like this, like, and that's that kind of feeling, like recapturing, you know, the world really is my oyster. Where shall I go today? What shall I find? I think you're going to find something really good. What will be healed here? A Judgment and the Ace of Swords. So this is a beautiful way to have a judgment. This is like crystal clear understanding, knowing, and thinking. Right? What have you been working on? It's like turning this page or Knave of Swords, into the Ace, creating the new beginning. There you go. Wow, what's ready to harvest? Oh my. The 5 of Pentacles and the Empress. That's a good way to harvest something, man. Like that is going from total lack to total abundance. Yeah, remember what was underneath? Was the Empress. Going from total lack to total abundance. I think that's what you guys are doing. I think you're recapturing. I'm going to do that. I think a Scorpio probably does that a lot. Recaptures some aspect of their youth to bring into their life now. And I say that because every single Scorpio I've ever known has more energy than I do. And it always amazes me because I'm a fairly energetic person. I'm getting older and I'm slowing down, but yeah, like, because I'm like Aries, Gemini is heavy in my chart, so I always like to kind of say my own air fuels my fire. I cannot keep up with any of the Scorpios that I've ever met. Like, I really can't. It amazes me. And I'm kind of getting an inkling here about that. Like, somehow you guys, maybe if you're not even aware of it, because it's just part of you, that you somehow on an energetic level, you can recapture different elements of your youth and your growth and bring that back into your life again. That's kind of what this feels like. Like recapturing a positive element of your youth and bringing that forward. That's pretty cool, Scorps. There you go. I like that. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to go do the extended. If I see you there, great. If not, I still look forward to seeing you here next week. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.